Every single thing we do in life comes down to our mental health. It influences how we see the world, how we act, how we view our beliefs. A man with bad mental health cannot achieve what he sets out to do. He is too enslaved by his mind to take the right actions and do the right things. And this plays a rather big role in the field of programming. Not only does it impact a good amount of people in the programming space, but I believe it's hindering a lot of great programmers. So in this video, you will learn how to maintain your mental health while learning to code. And this is quite a sensitive topic to me because I went through a mental health crisis around 2 years ago. I was dealing with OCD, which is like obsessive compulsive disorder. And if you don't know what that is, it's a sort of anxiety disorder. And though at the time I tried to regret it, I was going through one of the hardest periods of my life. I had these goals and aspirations and I was trying to do the best work I can, but I could not achieve what I set out to do. If only I had the good mental health to help me get through those tough times, which tactics we will talk about in this video, I would have overcome those times and would have been able to succeed in the things that I set out to do. So the first thing I implemented into my life to fix up my mental health while learning to code is allowing myself room to fail. As humans, we like to think that we are perfect and that we have to be perfect 100% of the time. And it's crazy to see how common this is in everyday life. However, having this success and failure mindset is only bad when it comes to the field of programming. And I see this in almost everyone that's new to code. They think that just because they are running into problems and running into bugs all the time means that they suck. And in turn, they end up quitting or they end up getting mad at themselves and they go into this like mental health spiral. By allowing myself that time and room to fail, it let my mind breathe and allowed me to see things more clearly. The next thing that I did was avoid comparison. This might be the #1 thing that hurts our mental health in the programming space. We see Johnny over here that just made like $1 billion app while we are just learning HTML and CSS. We think to ourselves, I'm never gonna be that good. I suck. How come I'm not that good? And again, we go into this spiral of bad mental health due to the comparison to other people around us. You have to understand that comparison is the destroyer of happiness. And by comparing ourselves to other people that we have no relation to or who have way more experience than us, only does us harm. And a good way to avoid comparison is to feel happy for people when they're successful and to ask rather than envy when people are winning. And the last thing I did to maintain my mental health while learning to code is by developing a mindset of patience and love. Almost no one talks about this in the programming YouTube space. All they want to talk about is like coding and specific, syntax and stuff. But by having this level of patience and loving yourself through the process of coding, just like allowing yourself room to fail, you give yourself the much needed time to learn code. Programming, just like business and just like life in general, is a process. It may take you months or years to get down a language in code. And by not loving yourself through the process and not being patient with yourself, learning these things only makes it worse. So the only actionable step I have for you for this video is to love yourself and have some patience when you are learning. You have to embrace those challenges, man. Rather than looking at those mistakes in like a form of hatred, love that you're running through these issues. Running into bugs doesn't mean you're an awful programmer, or not being able to finish a project does not mean you suck at coding. It simply means that you are challenging yourself and that you're pushing yourself past your limits. And all you can simply do in that situation is love yourself and give yourself that patience that you need. And if you implement these 3 things, I promise you, not only will you have good mental health, but you would have great mental health that you need to learn how to code. And check out this video right here if you want to learn about programming mindset.